Alrighty, guys. What is up? I'm going to be breaking down the highly anticipated UFC 308. This card should be action packed. It should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of really good matchups. Obviously, the main and co main event are going to be the show stealers, but I think there's some sneaky good matchups on here. I don't even know why I said sneaky because they just are good matchups on here. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Our first matchup is going to be Ibo Aslan versus Rafael Cerqueira. Rafael Cerqueira is going to be debuting in this one. We don't really have too much footage or film of it, but what we do have is Ibo Aslan. He kind of just looks like a big oaf in there, man. He kind of looks like shit, I'm not going to lie. You know, he goes in there, he throws these labored punches. They have a lot of force on him. He chucks a lot into him. It's kind of just bad technique, and you know, he just chucks. Really, to be honest, he doesn't really have the best gas tank, and he struggled against Anton Turkalj. Actually lost against him in Dana White's Contender Series, and then got a rematch and beat him in round 3 by TKO, or not TKO. He fucking socked him on the feet. But yeah, I don't really think he's that good. I think he just chucks, and you know, I don't really rate that much. I think he kind of looks like shit. I think he can cut down a weight class. I think he kind of looks a little chunky in there, a little chubby. Looks like he gasses out. Lots of muscle mass on him. Like I said, he gasses out. I could see Rafael Cerqueira, from what I've seen, he seems like more of a technical, you know, that type of fighter, you know, a little bit more finesse on him. So I could see him just winning a decision here, kind of just evading the big oaf strikes of Ibo Aslan and taking over and getting a nod from the judges. So let's go with Ibo Aslan to get that one done. Next up, we've got Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal. This fight was a switch up from Nursultan Rozaboyev, who pulled out for unknown reasons. We don't have him yet, but I think that's definitely going to play a factor and a bit of a narrative shift here, because I know Rinat Fakhretdinov is this, you know, dangerous wrestler, and he's good at imposing his will on people, and he chucks for the fucking fences. That's all true, but, you know, I don't think he's going to have that same success that he was expecting to have against Nursultan with Carlos Leal, man. I think Leal's got extremely good hips, and a lot of Renat's takedowns come from that double leg or that single leg. And I think Carlos Leal's got extremely good hips. He's really fast at digging those underhooks in. If you've watched some of his tape, he's a really good counterpuncher, in my opinion, too. The one thing I don't like is he kind of gets stuck on that back foot a little bit. I could see him getting cracked by one of those windmill shots. And, you know, one thing I will say that Rinat does really well is he gets his head off the center line when he's chucking. He's just kind of windmilling there. You know, he's moving around quite a bit, and I do like the head movement. He's going to be a little bit harder to counter, but I think after round 1, Rinat's gas tank definitely starts to die down quite a bit. I think he's going to have to work a lot. I think he will get the takedowns on Carlos Leal. I'm not saying this guy's some world beater wrestler, but I think he's going to have to work quite hard to get those takedowns, and I could see him gassing. I could see him blowing his load quite a bit and kind of getting frustrated that he's not beating this, you know, PFL level guy. And I could see a round 2 upset. I could see a round 3 finish by Carlos Leal. I think he's pretty good. He's going on a bit of a tear in the PFL and LFA, and I think he can do quite a good job in this matchup. And I think he can find the counter shots late in round 3 and potentially put Rinat away, or at least force him to a split decision or something like that. So I am going to go with the upset here. I am going to go with Carlos Leal. He looks pretty legit. His counterpunching is legit, and I think he's going to do enough to potentially get the nod from the judges. You know, granted, you know, Fakhretdinov, he's got the OV, so we're going to see a little bit of judging bias. But yeah, you know, I think Carlos Leal will win the fight. Or he gets fucking steamrolled and I look like an idiot. So yeah, but I think it looks like the more technical guy in there. But anyways, let's go to Ismail Nardiev versus Bruno Silva. Kind of a pick'ems, guys. They're both well-rounded. I think Bruno Silva's going to have the power advantage, and then Ismail's a little bit more well-rounded everywhere else. I don't know. I think Bruno Silva by knockout. I mean, why not? He's due for it. It's kind of just a pick'ems, like I said. You know, you can get into the outside foot battle and all that type of stuff with this one, but I am just going to go with Bruno Silva. I think he's due for it. He got fucking robbed against Chris Weidman. Fuck Chris Weidman, and fuck the UFC for that. But yeah, let's go with Bruno Silva. I think he's just due for it. So yeah, pretty simple. Another simple one here: Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. Victor Hugo just kind of looks a little sus. He looks a little queer. I don't know if that is a acceptable word, but I'm gonna go with queer instead of the F one. And yeah, I think Farid also looks a little bit queer. So but nah, he just looks clean cut, well kept. So yeah, we're gonna go with Farid here though. He's got the wrestling advantage. I think he's gonna be a little bit more technical on the feet. I think he's got a better gas tank than Victor Hugo from what I've seen. And I think he's going to be able to impose his will and do what he does best, which is wrestle fuck. So, yeah, Farid Basharat by decision. Okay, this one's a bit of a joke of a fight. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Chris Barnett. I'm looking at the picture right now. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Yeah, Chris Barnett's just a fat slob, man. This guy should be middleweight. He's 5'9", 270. 5'9", 270, so you can guess. He looks like a little bowling ball with little peg legs. But he could throw spinning heel kicks. He's flexible. He's athletic. I don't know, man. He sucks. Kennedy Nzechukwu might suck more, though. This guy has a glass chin. I'm pretty sure he just lost to OSP. I think he just got outstruck by OSP in his last fight. Yeah, he did. Chris Barnett, though, I mean, he's just a fat slob. Kennedy Nzechukwu is coming up from lightweight. He's going to have the lighter man skill advantage. He's going to be faster in there, I think. I think he's going to be faster than this guy, but who knows. Nzechukwu sucks. Chris Barnett sucks. These guys are both jokes. Cut them both, and let's get on to the next one. But if I had to go with someone, I guess I'm going to go with Kennedy Nzechukwu by decision. Just boring jab, 1-2, the rest of the whole fight, so... Let's just go with that. Next up, kind of a fun one here. We got Abu Nurmagomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. My bad. Yeah, Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira, and we saw him gas out We saw him gas out in the Strickland fight after 2 minutes into round one. I think he's got a nice knockout or two. I don't know. Is this guy really UFC level? I don't know. I think he was pushed a little fast. This is going to be a step down in competition. I think Bruno Ferreira's got these little short arms these little T-Rex arms compared to Abu, and I think he's going to have a major reach advantage, height advantage, and he's going to have the striking advantage as well. Where I am worried though is the end of round 2, round 3, when Abu wastes all of his energy on these flashy, stupid shots. And starts to gas in front of Bruno Ferreira, who also kind of has a shitty gas tank. So the pick here, I think, definitely is Abu. I know a lot of people are going Bruno Ferreira, but I think the pick is Abu. I think hopefully he's tidied up his cardio. I don't know. He's maybe figured it out a little bit more, not to blow his load. Maybe he's not as nervous. He did get chucked into that main event spot against Sean Strickland. He's a tried and true vet, and actually a future UFC champion at the time. And yeah, I think he got thrown into that event after like one fight. So maybe he was a little excited, a little nervous, and blew his load. Hopefully he doesn't jackrabbit this fight. I think he's going to have the wrestling advantage, striking advantage. I think he's going to be cleaner everywhere. My biggest concern is that cardio, but let's hope he's got it figured out. I'm going to go with Abu here as the pick. Next up, a really fun fight here. One of the sneaky fun fights on the prelims. I think Said Nurmagomedov versus Daniel Santos. I did say that. No, Said Nurmagomedov versus Daniel Santos. Yeah, I think it's pretty cut and dry here. I think Said has to be the pick. My biggest reasoning for that is he has a wrestling advantage, and you say, well, wait a second, Daniel Santos, he's a shoot-a box, he's got the grappling. I think that's actually one of the problems here is that he just is cool with laying on his back, sitting in guard, and just trying to throw up these bullshit submissions that don't work. UFC has evolved, man. We're not in the fucking early 2000s. Jiu-jitsu is not as dominant as people think it is. I think the wrestling of Said is going to give Daniel Santos problems because he's just going to lay there and Said's going to rack up control time. I think on the feet, Said is going to have the more technical shots. He is like that Walmart version of Zabit, where Daniel Santos is like that Walmart version of Charles Oliveira. So I think I am going to favor Said here, especially if it does get close. If he does get rocked round 3 and it's a close fight and round 2 is a little bit up for debate, I like the fact that we're in Saudi Arabia and Saeed will probably get the nod from the judges. So I'm going to go with Saeed. I'm pretty confident on this one. This one feels like a lock. But, Daniel Santos is obviously dangerous and brain dead. So he will come forward, eat shots, and just keep chucking. He's got a lot of volume. But I think the pick is clearly Saeed here. He's got the wrestling, and that's enough for me. Let's go to the next one. Mateusz Rebecki versus Mytek Orablai, the troglodyte caveman himself, man. I think you could actually take a fucking wooden club over the back of this guy's head while he's grappling, and he wouldn't even fucking notice that you hit him. So he literally looks, I'm looking at the picture, he is a fucking caveman. Like, it looks like he failed evolution and just got the genes of a fucking prehistoric human. Or I don't even know if the fucking scientific term is. But anyways, I do know Mateusz Rebecki's got these little fucking I was talking about midget arms, but they're really like, they barely even get past his hip in this one. So in this picture right here, what's the reach advantage? Wow, 8-inch reach advantage for Mytek, and I think he's already got the cleaner striking. I think the only advantage that Mytek's gonna have here, or that fucking Mateusz Rebecki's gonna have, is the power advantage. He chucks everything he has into it, which is also, you could say, is a strength and a weakness, because he is going to gas out. Like we've seen him gas out against a 40-year-old in his last fight and lose that fight and get dominated in that fight. I don't think Mytek is going to get rocked. Even if he does eat a shot clean, I think he just eats it. I mean, look at this guy's fucking head, man. Look at his face. I think he just eats the shot. He's got the wrestling advantage. Fucking Mateusz, I keep saying Rafael. Mateusz Rebecki, he is a grappler who mixes it up with big striking. He's got the mix-up of the overhand right and the shot, the classic wrestler shit. I don't think it's going to be as effective, because I don't think Mytek's going to be worried about the wrestling. I think he's going to have the edge in the grappling. He's going to have the edge on the feet. And I would be nervous about the power, because you always have to be nervous about the power in a Mateusz Rebecki matchup. But I think, look at this guy's head. I'll say it one more time. He's a fucking living troglodyte. So I am going to go with Mytek Orablai for that one. Ending the prelims here, we've got Jeff Neal versus Rafael dos Santos. This is a fun fight. I don't know. Rafael's 40. Jeff Neal's 33. I mean, that should already just go ahead and jump off the page to you. Yeah, I mean, Rafael's cardio hasn't looked amazing. That loss to Vicente Luque just kind of left a gross taste in my mouth. Obviously, Mateusz Gamrot is not what we thought he was, so, rocking him and doing decent against him is, it's impressive, but who cares? Fuck Dan Hooker, man. Fuck those judges. That was an absolute fucking robbery. I got my ass fucked on that. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to go with Jeff Neal here. I think it's pretty cut and dry. He's going to bully him on the feet. I think he's going to have the strength and power to defend any takedowns coming his way. And I think he should just run over RDA. I could see him getting a finish here over the 40-year-old RDA. I think he doesn't care about, being, the camaraderie or the friendliness of the fight. I think he's going to look to take his fucking head off, and I think he's going to get a finish. Hopefully he could take a couple less shifts serving. A bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, Jeff Neal's going to be the pick. I've got him by TKO after RDA fails a takedown and gets his head fucking beat in by Jeff Neal. Okay, opening up the main card. Sharaputin Magomedov, the Pirate, versus Armen Petrosyan. This is could be potential for fireworks, but also could be the most boring fight on the card. They're both kickboxers, so I could see a definite slower pace, especially in that first round. And I do like Shara's kick game and his touch game, if that makes sense. Just kind of like the point scoring style of striking. I think it's a lot better than Armen's. I think significantly better. But where I feel like he's going to have the disadvantage is Armen coming forward and having powerful shots, man. This guy does. Where Shara's better in the kicking game and the little tit-for-tat game, Armen's much better at the other side of that game, which is landing a big shot on somebody and biting down on the mouthpiece and fucking swinging at him and really taking his head off. And I think Shara's defense is pretty shit. So yeah, you could see a big finish here, but I think what's more likely is Shara wins round one by just outpoint striking him, and then round two, You could see Shara getting rocked maybe up against the fence and he gets clipped with a shot, maybe drops for a second but recovers, or even if he does fall to his back and Armin gets top position, I don't think Armin's grappling or top position dominance is near enough to be able to finish somebody like Shara, who is pretty active off his back and is competent. He's not, watch the Bruno Silva fight, he's competent off his back. So I think he'll be okay, and I think he'll come out round 3 a little bit more of the same, just, outpoint striking him, and I think he'll get the nod from the judges. We are in Saudi Arabia, and this is their star right now, the one-eyed fucking Kakashi-looking fuck. So, yeah, let's go with Shara Putin, and I think he gets it done. Okay, next up, a little bit of a controversial pick here, an opinion. I think Alexander Rakic is going to take Magomed Ankalaev to split decision. I don't think he's going to win. I think the judging biases are really going to be shown here. I mean, look, there's no girls on this card, so I'm not mad at Saudi Arabia. I love Saudi Arabia for what they do and everything, but there is a little bit of corruption going on there. Let's just call a spade a spade. If you've watched any card in Saudi Arabia, you know those scorecards go fucking crazy. So I could see a split decision for Magomed, or a split decision win for Magomed Ankalaev here. But I think when I say that, I mean Rakic is going to dominate round 1. I think he's got the sharper striking, the more explosiveness. I think he's stronger. I think the biggest problem is, look at his fucking head right now. Like, if you pull up a picture, he's got a little fucking peanut brain, man. And I really believe that, man. I think he's a fucking idiot. I think he's really good. Other than that, I just think he's an idiot and he can't put it together. He doesn't make the best decisions in fights. It's not like he's like a Johnny Walker decision maker, but... Okay. Yeah, sorry, I just got a phone call there. But as I was saying, I think Magomed Ankalaev, he's going to get it done. Like I said, Charlie Rack, he's an idiot. I think the fight's going to be extremely close. I think the narrative shift is, we weren't protecting Alex Pereira from Magomed Ankalaev. We were protecting Magomed Ankalaev from Alex Pereira. I think that's going to be the big narrative shift here. I think Magomed's grappling shit. I think Rakic is probably just better. I think he's going to chew up the legs of Magomed, and I think Magomed's going to find a couple of spots in each round, but overall the volume and the striking control is going to be more on the Rakic side. So I think you could see the tide shift late in round 2, and that's what I'm kind of expecting, and that's where I'm kind of expecting the win from Magomed. But I think we could, see a Weasel breakdown video coming up soon for this matchup, man. Who really won, man? That type of breakdown where we're adding up all the fucking punches and strikes. So, yeah. I'm going to go with Magomed Ankalaev just because we are in Saudi Arabia, and I think he could get knocked out and they'd still raise his hand. So next up, we've got Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige, and I feel pretty good about this one. One thing for sure, do not have any money line bets on this one. But I think Dan Ige is gonna get it done, man. If you've seen this guy's fight, he's just a little tight. He's all tight and he doesn't have a lot of volume. But man, he's got the speed advantage over Lerone Murphy all day, who throws his shots and they're all elongated and they're all just coming, and they're all just very long. And he I feel like he holds his arm out there, like he'll punch and then hold his arm out and bring it back. And I feel like, if you watch some of Lerone Murphy's fights, this guy gets clipped quite a bit, and he doesn't do great with overhands, especially somebody that's able to speed check him. Like, Edson doesn't have this speed check overhand this tight overhand right that just comes out of nowhere. Dan Ige's got that. Watch that Bryce Mitchell knockout, devastating. I could see something similar happening, except not getting the knockout and just getting a knockdown. Lerone Murphy survives on the ground. I don't think Dan Ige's ground and pound's that impressive. But I could see Dan Ige winning this fight on the scorecards, man. I could see him losing round 2. Lerone Murphy tries a lot of the grappling and does actually get some control time, but gasses out because Dan Ige makes him work. And Dan Ige's low volume style after stealing that first round, and then, that low volume style not really gassing, I could see him just coming in round 3 and looking like he did against Diego Lopez in round 3 and kind of just putting a fucking pace on Lerone Murphy. And that big threat of that overhand is going to make Lerone Murphy a little bit more shy to throw shots. And I could see Dan Ige getting the nod, man. I'm going to go with Dan Ige by decision here. I think he's due for it as well. I think he deserves it. So I'm going to go with Dan Ige. I think it's a bad matchup for Lerone Murphy. I think he does pretty good against a lot of people, but I don't think this is a great matchup for Lerone Murphy. And he doesn't have this crazy reach advantage in this matchup either. So now we're going to go with the co-main event of the evening. Super exciting one here, guys. We've got Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. And man, fireworks, right? We're all wondering, the questions up in the air. How's Hamzat Chimaev gonna look? Is he gonna come in there with like coughing and fucking who knows? Whatever. I want to see him later on in fight week, but I'll drop that pick later on in my Friday final picks, bets, and predictions video. I'll have a final little breakdown, a betting guide, whatever bullshit, and I'll let you guys know what I think of Hamzat leading up to this week. But unless I see otherwise, I am gonna go with Hamzat Chimaev. I think Whitaker is really bad at being the nail. If you watch that Dricus fight, the second that he got touched by that power and the second he felt that dominance after getting up off the ground, after getting his guard passed immediately by Dricus, that look in his eyes, like he didn't know where he was. Like he was like, fuck, am I really in this octagon right now? And yeah, you are. And I think it's going to be something very similar. Now, like I said, I'm the biggest Bobby Knuckles fan. He's my favorite fight style in the UFC. Favorite fight style ever is Robert Whitaker. But the big problem I have is he does have really good takedown defense. I know people will love to bring that up, but it's the lower half takedown defense that's really good. It's the hips that he has that are really good. He's good. He has a really nice sprawl, and he's got decent scrambles. But where I feel like he's weak at, go watch that fucking middle school takedown in the Dricus fight, man. That's like 6th grade, first thing you learn, and Dricus didn't even do it right. I feel like he was so high up on the knee, and Whitaker just stood straight up tall, man. I know Hamzat Chimaev's watching that and licking his fucking lips at that takedown. I think Hamzat, if he goes in there a little bit educated and he doesn't go and shoot immediately, if he doesn't shoot and gas himself out like he did against Kamaru, which super impressive performance. I know people will love to hate on that one, but it was impressive. If he doesn't go in there and shoot like that and fight into the hips of Robert Whitaker, if he shoots and just maybe circles around to the back fast, or maybe once Whitaker blitzes in, he times a blitz and just kind of runs him up against the fence, works the back, works a trip. That upper body, I feel like, of Whitaker is weak, and I feel like Hamzat's going to be able to outmuscle him and bully him the same way Dricus did. And I feel like once he's on the ground, if Hamzat then puts the gas tank on and starts looking for ground and pound, fuck the submissions, look for ground and pound and puts all of his energy into that, I could see him getting a round 1, early round 2 finish. Yeah, I think Hamzat's very playable on this card. I will be having some bets with him in there, a couple parlays, but tune into the video Friday. I'll explain how to play that position because it's not just straight up. So yeah, Hamzat Chimaev, I've got him round 2 finish most likely. Okay, main event. The biggest main event I think of the year, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, and people are treating it like it's a popularity contest, man, and I think you're gonna be fucking shocked. It is not a popularity contest, and Max Holloway. I think your boy's getting fucked up, guys. I'm not a Max Holloway fan. I never have been. I've never really given a fuck about Max Holloway, but I think your boy is getting fucked up this week. I'm gonna drop a breakdown video. I'm not gonna go into the X's and O's and the outside foot battle and all the bullshit. I'll drop a video later this week, probably Wednesday, so tune into that, see my full explanation as to why I think so. But I'll just give you a little hint, man. These guys are saying like the head kicks, bro. This guy is not Jai Herbert. He throws head kicks at fucking turtle speed, man. Your boy's getting fucked up. Unfortunately, it is not a popularity contest. Unfortunately, just because everybody wants Max Holloway to win, he's not going to win. This guy's going to be the next Tony Ferguson. Wait till Diego Lopez gets his hands on him after this fight. It's going to be bad fucking news for Max Holloway. He's going to go on a big spiral. You guys are losing another fan favorite. Unlucky, man. Ilia Topuria is way better for the UFC. He's way more entertaining, way more fun. Wait till October 26th. Dude, you're a fucking goofball. Fuck Max Holloway. Just going to go ahead and throw it out there now. If Max Holloway loses or wins by head kick, knockout, I'll throw up on the floor everywhere. I'll be absolutely disgusted because it's not possible. There is no world, there is no realm in which Max Holloway wins this fight. Ilia Topuria is a solid lock of the card, and I feel great about it. We'll go into it later on. But anyways, that's going to be the breakdown for UFC 308. Like I said, check out the video on Wednesday. I'll be dropping hopefully an in-depth breakdown of Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. It is a fun matchup. It is a little bit more competitive than I'm making it out to be, but I think Ilia Topuria dominates him any way he wants. And then also check out the video Friday. That's going to be super important, guys. I'm going to be giving you guys a full betting guide. I have had a lot of success with the betting. Maybe I could pop it up on the screen around here somewhere, but I've had a lot of success with the UFC betting. I think I've got a good head and shoulders for it. Every time I do my research, we're making money. So I've been doing a lot of research this week. I need the fucking money. I'm trying to have a nice, fun Halloween weekend and blow some money at the bars. So tune in, man. Friday, jump back over here. Thanks for checking out the video. If you made it this far, appreciate it. Anyways, I'm out. Catch you guys.